All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's Talk Junkies Sports Talk. I think we're on 2 or 3 now. It's September 9th. We are on the dawn of football, and we are also on the dawn of motherfucking calling bell in my house, baby.
What is up, Paul? 14 hours, man. 14 hours till we see what this Chiefs team can do. Are you excited?
Dude, I'm more than excited. Pretty much just the way I feel is a very large boner in my pants on how I feel about the Chiefs.
Yeah. I will have that boner when the offense is on the field. We'll have to see. We'll have to talk a little bit about this defense. I'm kind of worried still, but I don't know, man. Hopefully the excitement that Patrick Mahomes brings this season, just the prolific offense, I'm very excited to see what we do. Very excited.
Oh, me too. And I think the biggest question is the defense for sure.
Yeah. I think the first and foremost, what everyone's the most worried about now is Eric Berry. I mean, a secondary that's already without Marcus Peters, which is another conversation, without Daniel Sorensen, who's got a knee injury out for most of the year. Now we've got Eric Berry. Andy Reid said more than likely will not play. He's had a sore heel. He hasn't practiced in over a month now, and obviously the sore heel last year turned into a torn Achilles, and he was out for the year. So obviously, I'm glad they're taking precaution. The last thing we can afford is to have him out for the entire season, but it just makes you nervous, man. Eric Berry's come back from cancer. Eric Berry's come back from an ACL. He's now trying to come back from an Achilles. It's worrisome, you know. I don't know whether we are going to see or how much longer we're going to see the Eric Berry that was a potential Hall of Famer.
Well, how many full seasons has Eric Berry played?
That's a good question, man. I know we're looking at probably 3 seasons that he's missed now. So
yeah,
that's a disappointing thing. You know, when he is on the field, he is easily top 2, top 3 safeties in the game, and obviously the cancer thing you can't. That's something that's uncontrollable, and for him to even come back from that is truly amazing. But yeah, it's just very disappointing when you think about what his career could have been before these injuries and these things that have kept him out.
I was looking on Instagram, and the Chiefs made a post with it was like him and Justin Houston. So I'm curious to see if maybe he will play.
Yeah.
But you're right. Is it really necessary for him to play week 1, week 2, week 3? Is it really necessary?
Yeah, I think obviously after last year and coming off an injury like that, they're definitely going to be cautious. But it's just nerve wracking. And obviously the Chiefs have always been a team to keep everything under wraps, and they like to keep everything very professional, and they don't like to give anything away. But we've really gotten no updates at all, other than over and over we've been told that he's day to day. What does that mean? Don't really get an answer until Andy Reid finally said he likely won't play. But knowing the kind of guy Eric Berry is, I wouldn't be surprised if he does suit up tomorrow. And let's be honest, it's going to be crucial to have him for the majority of the games, given the secondary that is very inexperienced. And
who do we have? We have Ron Parker now.
Yeah, Ron Parker is going to be a starting safety.
Who plays if Eric Berry doesn't play?
I've got that right here. It's looking like it's going to be Eric Murray. He's the second-year guy.
Garbage.
Not what you want. Armani Watts, the rookie, is the safety behind Ron Parker on the depth chart.
And he's going to see snaps for sure.
Absolutely. And then you've got Kendall Fuller, Steven Nelson at corner, and Traymon Smith, Orlando Scandrick as the 2 backups right there.
Steven Nelson, man, is our second. Dude, he's going to get turned and burnt all season.
Just thinking about the game tomorrow or later today. You got Keenan Allen, you got Antonio Gates who re-signed, Melvin Gordon. The Chargers have some weapons too, and they've got a quarterback who has proven, who's been in the league for a long time.
Phillip Rivers. Antonio Gates is old as fuck. He's like Tony Gonzalez right now, slow as motherfucking mud, man.
Who is the Chargers? There's another receiver for the Chargers that I'm missing, but obviously, Keenan Allen was a guy who definitely had some battles with Marcus Peters. If you remember the first game 2 years ago, Keenan Allen was torching us the entire first half before he tore his ACL.
We still won that game, yeah.
That's true, yeah.
Only because Keenan Allen got hurt, because the first half he went off.
They would have ran away with it.
Because he had over 100 yards in the first half. I remember that game.
Yeah, so that's going to be one to watch, and, we got to hope Got to hope that our defense can step up a little bit and hopefully force some turnovers, and just hope that the offense is everything that we all expect it and that we hope it to be. And
there's not much to expect for the offense, in my opinion. The only thing you can expect is Kareem Hunt running the ball.
It's true,
which is what he did last year.
Yeah.
You can't know what to expect if we don't know the expected. With Patrick Mahomes, very unknown, 1 year behind Alex Smith, and in 1 year behind Andy Reid, who is a quarterback guru allegedly, who has never won a Super Bowl. How do you get that title as a quarterback guru, but yet you've never won a Super Bowl?
I mean,
did he even play quarterback?
No, he played defensive end or something.
Andy Reid?
No, he played defensive end or something. There's my favorite Andy Reid football moment was the old video of him in the punt, pass, and kick competition back when he was a kid, and the funniest thing, like all these other kids are going, and he comes up and he's like twice the size of every other kid, and he just throws the ball like 30, 40 yards down the field at 12 years old. It was the funniest thing. But I think Andy Reid rightfully has the title of quarterback guru just because he can take guys like, Donovan McNabb had talent, but I think with any other coach, I don't think he's a potential Hall of Famer. I don't know that he'll make it anyways, but I think he got the max potential out of Donovan McNabb. Guys like Kevin Cobb, that's the kind of guy that I would never expect to do anything, and he got production out of him. He's gotten the 5 best years of Alex Smith's career out of him, and that's a guy who definitely has a hard ceiling. But I don't know. I think he definitely has that. If he could just be a clock management guru, then we'd have a well-rounded head coach. But that's an issue.
Yeah, it's a big issue. I don't know. I have a love-hate relationship with Andy Reid. I really do. I really wish he would just relinquish the play calls, man.
Right.
And just, you're the head coach. Be the head coach. You're not an offensive coordinator. Stop being an offensive coordinator. Be what you can be best to the team, And if you're not a great offensive play caller, and last year, whenever Alex Smith went off, that was who was our offense? And it's still our offensive coordinator right now. Yeah, Nagy.
Or no, it's Bieniemy now.
Right. So, but Nagy was calling those plays, was he not?
Yeah, he switched the play calling after we went on that skid. And right, it's just there's so much you have There's so much you're responsible for as a head coach in the NFL, and just to try and deal with that on top of everything else is just too much. And I think part of it with last year was he got so cute, and they ran all these plays like the shovel passes to Travis Kelce, all that. They worked, but the thing is, I think he used so much of his arsenal in the first 5 weeks, and he showed people so much in the first 5 weeks that people caught on to it, and all of a sudden the Chiefs are beatable, and that's what happens. We go 1-6 in our next 6 games,
right?
500.
But in one way, I disagree with that, because in the Tennessee game, there were multiple times where Tyreek was wide open on long passes where Alex Smith missed it. And I'm not a quarterback in the NFL. I've never been in that position. I'm not saying he wasn't under pressure or he didn't have protection. But at the same time, like, there were some good play calls. There were some wide open misses. And there were some bad calls. But I don't know. If Andy Reid called that game, it was very similar to the Colts game minus the score, because he got very conservative. We were up big. Travis Kelce, yeah.
Second quarter, you're up 14-0, and he just shut it down.
Yeah.
We
you
watched
can't.
the game. We were at the game, and what was it in the second quarter where we go up 14-0, and there was a drive where it ended up like 4th and 31 or something, like just loss of yards on first down, and then he ran it twice, and we just got stuffed. And that's immediately when you look at it, and it's like, this is, not is this happening already yet, but it's just concerning, man. You cannot in the NFL just shut it down like that. You can't, put your foot on their throat and win the game. I don't care. We beat the Texans 30-0 2 years ago in the playoffs. Don't stop scoring. Obviously
Tom Savage was their quarterback, though.
That's true. Yeah, that shouldn't even count as a playoff win. We beat Tom Savage and Ryan Mallett or someone. It was the biggest gift of a game that we will ever see. But yeah, just you can't stop. But going back to what you said about Alex Smith and wide open receivers, that brings me to a really good point and a really good, question. I've seen 2 NFL analysts, and I can't pull it up right now. I don't have it in front of me, but 2 people picked the Chiefs. I feel like all the local is so worried about the defense, and is this team going to win, 7 games, 9 games, 10 games? saw two analysts pick the Chiefs to go to the Super Bowl this week, and I was just shocked.
From ESPN?
It wasn't ESPN. They've got – I'll have to look it
Was
up.
it like local?
No, they're national analysts. Like some of them are ESPN, some of them are like Yahoo Sports from different areas. And, two different people picked the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. And I sit there and I think, how could have you looked at this defense? Like, yeah, we've got weapons on offense. We've got Mahomes, who's, the Chiefs' offense is boom or bust. I think you could describe the whole team that way. But someone had a very good point that I read on Twitter, and it was yes, when you see Patrick Mahomes, the transition to him from Alex Smith, there will be more turnovers, and I think we're all okay with that given what we've seen, the potential he's got as far as big plays. And I think that's it. Are the turnovers going to outweigh the plays that Alex Smith left on the field? You just said plays where Tyreek Hill's open. I mean, that happened so many times. In the playoff game, I remember the first loss we had to the Steelers, there were people wide open down the field, and Alex Smith doesn't see him or he doesn't think that he's got the power to throw it. I mean, those are plays Mahomes clearly showed in week 2 of the preseason, like he will throw it 70 yards down the field into triple coverage if he thinks he's got a guy open. So, that's something that I really didn't think about. Could Patrick Mahomes' arm strength and his vision outweigh, those touchdowns, those points we're going to put up outweigh the turnovers that he's going to give,
And that's truly, I think, the biggest question with Mahomes, and especially with this Chiefs team. It's a great question, and we really won't have the answer until after tomorrow, which is going to be a beautiful thing watching Patrick Mahomes play his first NFL game, second NFL game, but
first one. I mean, he played with majority backups and
right. But it's his first game. It's his team. It's in the way that he's poised and the way that he conducts himself as an NFL player is just tremendous. I mean, it's the same as Alex Smith. He is a leader and all that good stuff. But you're right. Okay, he can make those plays. He's gonna do those plays. But at the same time, is Andy Reid going to get into Patrick Mahomes' head like he did Alex Smith? Because Alex Smith last year, he led the league in 40-yard plus passes. That's uncharacteristic of Alex Smith. And for that to happen, that was very strange. And I was a big hater of Alex Smith until he started doing that last year. And I'm like, well, damn, I didn't know, Alex, you could do this? And you're doing it now? Like, what the fuck, man? But then when it came to crunch time, he wasn't doing it. And that's what scares me. And will Mahomes do that? We're about to fucking find out, baby, tomorrow. And then a lot of the questions that we have right now will be answered. The biggest questions, people, it's defense, okay? Defense. Okay, we got D Ford. Is he healthy? Is he going to play this year? Is he going to play all year? Is he going to be that he's a first-round pick, right? Is he going to be that first-round pick that's ready to go and fucking be the man that he could be? Granted, he's small, he's undersized, in my opinion. Is he going to relieve Justin Houston of getting double teamed? That's the biggest question.
And this is the year for him. I mean, if it doesn't happen this year, he's gone.
Yeah,
he's gotten so many. I mean, he can't stay on the field. He'll have and the good thing is the games that he has blown up, he's done it against the Chargers. I think a couple years ago he had like a 3-sack game against them. He gets his against the Chargers, so that's good. But he's got to put it together all season. They've got to get pass rush help because obviously I know Justin Houston came out earlier this year and said he wasn't 100% last year. He was basically playing on one leg still, but when you have no one on the other side, Tamba Hali played last year, but he wasn't, he's old. He wasn't Tamba Hali that we watched in the 2000s.
The year that Justin Houston had his breakout year was when Tamba was the man.
Right.
Tamba was still decent. Was that D Ford's rookie year? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep.
And that's when he had 9 sacks his rookie year, or was that the second year he was in the NFL?
I think the second. But
okay.
I think, 5 of them came against San Diego alone. So
yeah.
I mean that's the thing. I mean when there's only pressure coming from one side, you double team Houston, you do whatever you can to make sure Houston doesn't get to the quarterback because on the other side whether it's Frank Zombo or whether it's D Ford, they're not getting there and you don't have to worry about them. So that's the biggest thing is you got to get Houston help. I'm excited though. I think if he really is 100%, he's got to live up to that contract because so far that contract has been a huge loss for us. I mean, he's tied with Michael Strahan for the most sacks in NFL history in a season, which is amazing. But ever since
he was short. He was short half a sack. He was short. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, no, he may have been tied to right. He was going to break it.
He should get it because who was it? Brett Favre literally laid down for Strahan to break that record. I'm still mad
People will
about
never
that.
talk about that,
Still
man.
mad about that to this day.
You already know ESPN won't say shit about that.
Exactly. Houston should be the winner of that.
Yeah.
It's okay.
So who do we have? I mean, we got linebackers. We got Ragland.
Reggie Ragland. We got Anthony Hitchens, who we signed in free agency. He's a really good run stopper, so that should definitely shore up the run game issues we had last year. We've got Ben Neiman, the undrafted rookie out of Iowa, who really impressed in the preseason. And I was looking at the depth chart right before we started here, and he's actually second on the depth chart for middle linebackers. So that's a huge for him to be undrafted.
He's going to get 20 to 30% of snaps.
Yeah, he's going to see playing time this year, and that's a very good pickup by Brett Veach and the Chiefs right there, because that's somebody who you weren't even planning on having, who's now going to be.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what he's able to do.
Defense, so. The front seven I think can be good. I think the run game is going to be a lot better, but the thing is, I mean, as soon as they drop back to pass, if they've got a wide open guy every time, that's going to be the issue.
It is, but if we do get that pressure, which we didn't have a lot of last year, I think we were last in sacks last year, or close to it. And if we're able to get pressure to the quarterback, that's going to relieve a lot.
Yeah, so much easier, no matter who you've got playing in your secondary. So,
but the biggest thing is Marcus Peters, like you said, which was another conversation. But the only thing I'm going to say about that, and everyone knows, if you know and you talk to me, is just like you just lost 21 turnovers in 3 years from Marcus Peters, and that includes playoffs. You will not find that anywhere in the NFL.
Kendall Fuller's
nowhere.
Not replacing that. Nobody you bring in is replacing that.
I was excited about Kendall Fuller when they brought him in. I was.
And that was the thing. For about 10 days, we're looking at a defense with Kendall Fuller and Marcus Peters in that corner.
Yeah.
And Eric Berry coming back. I mean, that right there.
We are the Rams of the NFL if we kept it.
Yeah. So, say what you want about why he left, and there were multiple reasons, but
So if you're Andy Reid, or if you're in the organization of the Chiefs, which we are as fans, but how would you deal with Marcus Peters? I mean, with the way he acts, allegedly he's a cancer in the locker room. I mean, let's say he's in the locker room, you're a head coach or you're some sort of coach, and he just is outlandish and acting a straight fool. But he is a future Hall of Famer. He's a top 10 cornerback of all time. What do? You try and keep him, right?
I mean, you've got. Given his first 2 years, was it 2 years or 3 years?
3 years.
3 years.
Yeah.
I mean, he's on pace for a Hall of Fame career. He had more interceptions, more turnovers than Deion Sanders. I mean, you could go on and on. We've seen all the stats. You've got to do everything you can to keep him. You have to, and just. There's been a lot of rumors, a lot of, he tried to fight a coach. He tried to fight Bob Sutton. He tried to fight, supposedly.
I would try and fight Bob Sutton.
See, and we can get into that, too, because I know we both have strong opinions on that. And supposedly he tried to fight Dave Tobe. The whole meltdowns on the field, everything like that. Like, there was a lot of stuff that went into it. There's the anthem issues, too, and I think that. With Clark Hunt, I think that definitely played into it, because we can talk about the Albert Wilson thing. I think.
What about Travis Kelce? He had some issues on the field.
Travis Kelce, the first I know he had one against the Patriots. He had one. Yeah, he had like 3 in the first 3 or 4 games, 15-yard penalties. That's just the thing. I mean, I know Travis Kelce gets fired up on the field, but I don't know, if the rumors and if the stories are true, if, Travis Kelce isn't causing all that shit in the locker room. So, I don't know, man. I think you have to do everything you can to keep him, but there's also, and I hate bringing up these examples without remembering exactly the player, but there was someone that made took a shot at Peters whenever they asked him about the locker room and if anything's different, and he said it just feels more comfortable this year. Mentioned something about not having as many hotheads, and I mean it's directed at Marcus Peters, and I don't know.
Who was that player, and what have they contributed to the team? The amount that Marcus Peters had.
It was somebody who was a starter. I know it was an important player on the team, but obviously, yeah. No.
Important as Marcus Peters, 21 turnovers?
That's a good question. I mean, probably not. As far as production goes, I don't know.
I mean, when he's on the field, you are guaranteed pretty much once every other game that he's going to have a turnover.
Right, absolutely.
And that's the thing. When you have Patrick Mahomes, who we know he's going to make mistakes, and that's what you said earlier, is with the amount of turnovers that he's going to probably have more than Alex Smith, are we going to be able to sustain it?
Yeah.
If we don't have someone turning the ball over on the defensive side, we're not going to be able to.
Yeah. like you said, I think at the end of the day, the front seven has got to get more pressure on the quarterback. That's going to relieve. The pressure on the defensive backs immensely, and I think the wild card is going to be Steven Nelson. I mean, you see going into the offseason, our biggest needs were offensive line and the secondary. And in the secondary, we got David Amerson, who has since been cut because he was so bad.
He did get cut, huh?
Yeah, they cut David Amerson.
A lot of people said he wasn't going to.
Yeah, he got cut, and they've got Skandrick still, who was signed week 4 of the preseason, week 3.
Yeah.
I mean, he wasn't even there for training camp. I mean, that shows. I mean, I think part of it shows their faith in Steven Nelson. I mean, they didn't draft a corner until the 6th round in Armani Watts. I think that shows that they've got faith in Steven Nelson, and I hope that he can prove that he is capable of taking over that role because we're going to need him to step up.
What's Antonio Brown going to do to us week 2?
I don't know, man. I mean, it
Dude,
depends.
start
Fuller
him.
might shut one down. But,
Start him.
I mean, you got Brown, you got Smith
Don't
Schuster,
matter.
You got
Don't
AB.
matter.
I mean, Le'Veon Bell. That's who knows if he'll be there. He won't be there tomorrow. He didn't sign yet, so
He hasn't?
No, he's not on the bus. Fingers crossed. I mean, obviously he's not playing week 1. And
Even if he doesn't play week 2, they're going to – Ben Roethlisberger will throw for like 350, 360, 4 or 5 touchdowns week 2.
I'm scared the Chargers are going to do the same thing until we see, until we see what the defense does. And I hate to be that nervous about it, but hopefully I guess what I will say is I'm more than okay with winning games 45-42 as long as the offense puts up points.
I mean, that's 2001 Chiefs all over again, or 2003, I think.
Right.
Hey, on the bright side, Santos is the number 1 kicker this week. Fantasy.
Santos over the Bears? No kidding.
Oh, or I'm
Reed
saying Buttrick.
Bucker. Well,
Butker,
I mean, he should be as many field goals as we kick, but also that was with Alex Smith. I'm hoping that Mahomes will be able to fire that ball through some double coverage, through some tight windows, and score some more touchdowns.
Did you watch week 3 and week 4 preseason?
Not a whole lot.
Well, week 4, Patty didn't play, right?
No.
So, week 3, I was really disappointed, man. He had some good drives. He overthrew a wide-open Robinson, I don't know. I'm just kind of scared, man. And I every time I talk to someone that I see that's wearing a Chiefs shirt, and I'm sitting there having a conversation with him, I'm like, I really don't expect a lot out of the Chiefs this year. I'm going 7-9, 6-10 is what I'm going with. And my question to people is, do you really expect the Chiefs to be well this year? Do you expect them to do well? And a lot of people say yes. And I'm like, how do you expect that? He's going to fail this year, and you can't be mad about it. Right. You can't.
There's definitely going to be growing pains, but I think my thing is, and maybe a lot of people, is just Andy Reid in the regular season is amazing. And, I talked about Kevin Cobb earlier. Andy Reid got the Eagles with Kevin Cobb to 9-7. I think just with Andy Reid, just barring a complete meltdown from Mahomes, and I'm sure he'll have a game or two where he just, 2 or 3 picks, and, he might lose us a couple games this year. But I just think with Andy Reid, I think 9 wins is, not out of the question at all. Neither is 6, though, this year. Any other year, I think with an established quarterback, I wouldn't be saying that. But I don't know. I can see the Chiefs winning 9 or 10 games, maybe even getting a wild card. But I think if that happens, it's definitely going to be this year the same result as what we've seen over and over again. It's going to be a first-round exit.
It'll be more exciting, though.
It will. I that's what I said earlier this year. I said we may go 9-7 this year, but it's going to be an exciting. We may go 7-9 this year, but it's going to be an exciting 7-9. Watching this offense and unfortunately watching the other team put up points right along with us, but. I don't know, man. The schedule is tough, too. I mean, when you look at the whole year, San Diego and Pittsburgh, 2 weeks to open it up on the road. Then you get the Niners and the Broncos at home. No, the Broncos are away. Wow. So 3 of your first games, 3 of your first 4
I think we beat the
are on
Broncos
road.
twice.
Oh,
I think we beat
absolutely.
them both times.
I think we beat the Broncos twice. I think we beat the Raiders twice because I think John Gruden. I think the Raiders are significantly
I like Derek Carr.
worse.
I like him.
I like him too, but I think the Raiders are significantly worse this year than they were last year, and they went 10-6 or 6-10 last year. I think that's the real Raiders. 2 years ago they went 12-4, but I mean, how many of those games do they win by 3 points or just on?
Yeah. Well, Derek Carr was on fire,
Right.
and that's the only thing that scares me If he plays like he did that year, they're tough to beat.
When they've got Amari Cooper and they got they've got some good receivers too. And if the Chiefs secondary is as bad as we're afraid that they might be, then,
It's that Thursday night football game last year when we should have won.
Yeah, we pissed that one away.
Yeah.
So who knows, man? But the division.
Do we play Green Bay this year?
No, we have
Atlanta, right?
We got the NFC West, so we have the Rams, the Seahawks, the Cardinals, and
why is Larry Fitzgerald still in like the top core of echelon wide receivers? Why?
And like fantasy or just total?
Well, in fantasy, but
I mean, he just
is he still? Did he start it up last year?
He's ageless. I mean, he had a good year last year. I think. I don't think he was hurt or anything like that. I don't know. He just keeps going as long as he's healthy. I think he's guaranteed 1,000 yards. Who does the Cardinals have at QB this year though? Not Bradford, is it? Is it Sam Bradford? I think it might be.
Really? They picked up Bradford?
I think so.
I have no idea.
Yeah, because the Broncos got Keenum now.
Yeah. Bradford is a joke, bro. He's like he's the biggest round one pick of all time, in my opinion.
Yeah, right up there with Josh
okay,
Rosen. Okay, so they drafted Josh Rosen, but I think Sam Bradford's going to start at least week 1. It'll be interesting to see though.
Rams are going to win it all, man.
They're going to be right up there.
Granted, I don't like Goff as a quarterback, but I think they're going to win it all.
I mean, when you got Gurley and when you got the receivers, and Sean McVay calls a really good, he's got some good offensive plays. I mean, and that defense. I mean, you saw what the Broncos did with the best defense and a good run game. That's all you need.
Yeah.
I mean, it takes a historically good defense, but I mean, who'd they get? Akeem Talib, Marcus Peters, signed Aaron Donald. That's a hell of a defense they've got, and it's going to be a fun team to watch too. You think of Talib? I mean, Talib has a personality too out there. So
I hope Patty Mahomes throws on Marcus Peters in Mexico City, baby.
He's not going to be afraid to. I know that. If it's Alex Smith out there, he's not even looking that side of the field.
No,
but you know, Mahomes
not a chance.
Test him. Mahomes doesn't care.
No, I know.
He's got some balls.
Dude, Tyreek on fucking Marcus Peters burns him.
That's going to be probably the most anticipated game of the year.
Probably. Oh, yeah.
I mean,
that's
in Mexico City, too.
Yeah. Bro, Tyreek is going to burn Marcus Peters. Burn.
I hope so.
He will burn anyone in the NFL.
I just want play one. Go out there. We get the ball first. Play one. Just send them deep.
So who's their number? Who is technically they're going to be play the number one corner slot?
It's got to be Peters.
It's got to be
up there. He's still good. He's still productive, but he's up there in age.
I hope Andy Reid just plays Tyreek on the right side, right on Marcus Peters, and just there's nothing he can do. Tyreek just run by him.
The question this year is going to be: is Marcus Peters going to follow the other team's best receiver? Because that was a big issue. I feel like a lot of people had.
Huge issue, man.
You know.
He stayed
Marcus
on one
Peters,
side.
The majority of the time, he's covering the team's second best receiver every week because, I mean, receivers will play on either side of the field. If Antonio Brown's going up against Peters,
we played zone.
They're going to put Brown on the other side of the field, and he's going to torch Terrence Mitchell or Steven Nelson or whoever we're throwing out there last.
You could have had fucking Bob Sutton's job. I could have had Bob Sutton's job. We could have literally made it 10 times better, in my opinion.
And going back to the beginning with Andy Reid and the issues with him, I think that's another issue. He's loyal to a fault. Bob Sutton should have been gone after last year. Bob Sutton should have been gone after 2015.
The only reason Bob Sutton still has a job is because of Marcus Peters.
Right, absolutely.
It's the only reason why.
Absolutely.
Chiefs, number one in takeaways this year. Well, because of Marcus Peters.
Yeah.
And you just got rid of him.
And they were definitely, I mean, even when those Chiefs teams even when we had those good defenses the last few years, I guess every year prior to last year, they were a bend, don't break kind of defense. We still gave up a bunch of yards. But the thing was, they'd get into the red zone and we'd force a turnover. Or, Marcus Peters had so many picks, and even when he wasn't getting picks, he was forcing fumbles. I mean, ripping that ball out, he was amazing at that too. So it's going to be very interesting to see. I mean, Kendall Fuller is 23 years old, and he graded out as, I think, one of the best corners in the league last year, but he's not Marcus Peters. He's not going to get those turnovers. So.
He graded as one of the best slot receivers, right?
Against the best slot, yeah. But I think, given how young he is, I think he can definitely – I mean, obviously he's going to have to. There's no way he's covering slot this year.
No,
He's got to
no.
be our number one. So
I mean, he could be number one for the next 10 years, but he's not Marcus Peters. There's not been anyone in the league who has done what Marcus Peters has done within the first 3 years of his career. Not one person.
yeah,
And we let him go for a third-round pick.
not even this year either. Next year.
Oh, I love being a Chiefs fan, bro. I love it. Clark Hunt, you can suck my ass on that trade, bro.
Yeah. Not you sound like you sounded at the playoff game last
Oh,
year.
I know, man, but it just frustrates me so
No,
much.
it is. I mean, you saw it before.
Dude,
well
we've
before I
worked with
did,
some
and you were
grungy
right.
ass people, Colin. We've worked with some grungy ass people. I could work with Marcus Peters.
Yeah.
Instead of paying Justin Houston, who's done jack shit the past 2 years, I would pay Marcus Peters his salary and say,
Right.
please give me more turnovers.
Right.
You don't even have to say please. It just happens. It just magically 8 turnovers a year.
Yeah. And that's coming from one guy.
Yeah.
You know, like there's teams that aren't going to force 8 turnovers in a season,
Right.
let alone one cornerback.
And he's doing it, and he's bye-bye. He's with the Rams, baby.
Yeah, so I don't know, man. Hopefully, Fuller will go out there and he'll be a shutdown corner, and we won't have to worry about it quite as much. But I don't know. We'll see. I definitely think this year will be a interesting year for the Chiefs. I think they're definitely kind of trying to build towards next year. They're trying to play for next year. We got a lot of guys under their rookie deal still. Hopefully we'll have some cap room to work with. But yeah, Justin Houston, coming back to him, he's definitely a candidate. If he doesn't put up numbers this year, I think we can get out of his deal relatively cheaply. I mean, obviously there's still going to be money we're going to have to pay him, but that's something we'll have to look at. If he can't put up numbers this year, we got to get rid of him. We got to use that cap room to either find another pass rusher or get someone in the secondary or do something, because we can't waste years of Tyreek Hill's rookie contract and Patrick Mahomes'
Not a
rookie contract.
chance. The window is small
Right.
with the players that we have offensively.
That's the issue, because like Patrick Mahomes, if he comes out here and he's the quarterback that everybody projects him to be and everyone expects him to be, he's going to get his money. And obviously you look at teams, the Colts, the Packers. I mean, all those teams, like, think of how much less money they have to spend because they're paying their quarterback so much. And obviously that's fine because the NFL's a quarterback-driven league. And if you've got an Aaron Rodgers or if you have a Ben Roethlisberger or a Tom Brady, you're pretty much guaranteed the playoffs every year, no matter how good the rest of your team is, no matter how good your defense is. But think of the advantage. If the Chiefs can use these 4 years, I guess 3 years left now of Patrick Mahomes' rookie deal, and sign extra guys and get other players in here with that extra cap room, that's our window right there. We've got to take advantage of that, and we've got to do something, I think, in the next 3 years. So I think this year is going to be Patrick Mahomes' growth. Hopefully the young guys on the defense, get them in, get them experience. And the next year, I think, is going to be the year where it's all out, unless something catastrophic happens this year, we go 7-9, 8-8, and it'll be exciting to watch, but the next year is going to be the year where it's, the Super Bowl's the goal. Like that,
Yep.
It's nothing less. It's not the division. It's not.
Well, it all
winning a
depends on
playoff game.
Patrick, though.
It does.
This year.
Yeah, it does.
But if he does perform well this year, that's definitely the goal next year, 100%, because you have Tyreek Hill, the fastest human on earth.
Yeah,
The fastest, man.
he really is right up there.
Antonio Brown, how many years has he been in the league? Like 7
Quite
or
a few
8?
now, yeah.
So, I mean, how long can Tyreek really sustain his speed? That's the question. Even if he was to lose a little bit, he still has an insane amount of speed. Travis Kelce, he's getting up there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, his window's 3 years, like you said. Kareem, I mean, it's his second year, but we'll see if he has the sophomore slump like Ezekiel did.
It's true.
I called it. I knew Ezekiel was going to have a sophomore slump, and he did.
In his defense, obviously, I know there was a lot of drama given the 5-game suspension, and there was a lot of shit going on with the Cowboys last year.
Well,
but you're
Dak didn't play well either.
Well, and Dak Prescott, I think, I'm not nearly as high on Dak Prescott as I think a lot of people
Oh,
are.
I wasn't
think
either.
His success in his rookie year had,
Ezekiel.
Yeah, I mean, it was Zeke Elliott. That contributed a lot to it. And, I mean, Dak struggled big time last year with no Elliott on the field. Even with him on the field, I mean, he regressed too last year. So,
Didn't they get rid of Dez Bryant? Really?
Yeah, you get rid of Dez Bryant.
No one's picked him up, right?
Yeah, I mean, the Browns are interested, which I would love to see the Browns go out and get Dez Bryant.
Oh,
I'm
for
gonna
real,
I'm
do
gonna be
it.
a closet Browns fan.
Why
this
not
year
Chiefs?
especially.
Why not Chiefs?
Right? I mean,
Fuck it, dude.
Chiefs don't have the cap to pay him what he wants to make. I mean,
Really?
there's been teams that have offered him contracts, but he's only wanting to play for a certain amount of money.
Well, then he's being fucking arrogant at that point.
No, absolutely. I mean, he's up there in age too. I mean, his 2 years with Dak Prescott, he's done nothing. I mean, and I know part of that is I think Dak
Prescott.
Right.
Dude, imagine if he went to Green Bay.
Yeah.
I think he should go to Green Bay.
That'd be a solid spot for him. They lost Jordy Nelson. I mean,
yeah,
they got Devontae Adams, who's a good receiver, but other than that, I couldn't name another Packers receiver.
I'm sure
he could fit in there somewhere. Yeah, I mean, Cowboys, though, their offensive line, too, they lost. They had the best offensive line in the NFL the last couple of years, but they lost a couple this year already to injury, so that could be a team that definitely disappoints this year. NFC's loaded, though. I mean, you got the Vikings, you got the Eagles, you got the Rams now.
The Panthers.
Yeah. The Seahawks are a team that's always kind of up there. They're losing some guys on their defense.
Yeah,
though.
Sherman's gone.
Yeah, so I don't know.
The 49ers.
The AFC just it's the Steelers, the Patriots, and then a gap, and then everybody else. And hopefully Roethlisberger and Brady retire, and we see the AFC open up a little bit.
Well, that's the thing with Roethlisberger. He did it as a rookie, man. He won it as a rookie.
He went out there, 15-1. I remember that.
Yeah.
That was insane.
I'm hoping that's Patty, baby.
Oh, that would be so awesome. That would be amazing. Just go out there and, what Roethlisberger did. Yeah, because they lost. Yeah, they lost the first game because Tommy Maddox started it, and he got hurt, and Roethlisberger came in, and he won. He went 15-0 basically his rookie year, which is just wild.
What did Russell? He went pretty decent his rookie year too.
Yeah, he did really well. I remember he won the starting job when he torched the Chiefs in the preseason that year because they were going in with Travarius Jackson, I believe, and he played so well in the preseason that they started him, and that's another one. Who did we take? We had the pick right before Russell Wilson. I don't remember who we took, but that's another one that just how
it amazes me that it's been since 1989 that we haven't drafted a quarterback in the first round. That amazes me, man. Amazes me.
I mean, is that more amazing than we haven't won a playoff game at home since 1994?
No.
That one just hurts.
It does hurt.
Walking out of Arrowhead.
Probably because we haven't drafted a quarterback since
That's
then.
true. That's true. I mean,
you don't.
It's literally just the 49ers. Like
Steve Bono,
Joe Montana, Steve Bono, Gerback, Alex Smith. Like we literally just go out and get 49ers retreads. And
well, Gerback was from the Ravens.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
Oh, I swore there was someone else.
I think Gerback may have played 1 year with the 49ers. I can't remember, but I know he started with the Ravens.
Yeah, but I mean, you're absolutely right. You even look at Rich Gannon and Warren Moon. I mean, literally everybody we get is just someone who's another team's done with, and it's nice to see. It's not just see us go out and get somebody with potential too, not like a Brody Croyle type of draft. I don't know, man. I'm excited.
I know. What was he? Brody Croyle was like 3rd or 5th round from Alabama,
I think
right?
He was 3rd round, but yeah, he was 0-9 for his career. 0-9.
Well, hey, and that was the biggest stat was that like, I think he was like 1-18 as a starting quarterback, and Troy Aikman started off 1-17 as a quarterback.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that. That's wow.
That was like one of the last stats I saw of Brody Croyle.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, he never won a game as a Chiefs starter.
I think he won one.
No, because Mahomes won the first game started by a Chiefs quarterback we drafted since.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but that was wild. I remember 2010, whenever we had Matt Castle had the emergency appendectomy, and we had to start Croyle that week, and we played the Chargers, and I think we lost 31-0, and I think we had something like 81 yards of offense the entire game, and just that was when Brody Croyle was finally like, he's done. We should have released him the Monday after that game.
Might as well have kept Thigpen at that point.
Right. Oh, dude, I love Tyler Thigpen, man.
Yeah.
I was on board before we signed Castle. I really wanted him to start. He was so much fun to watch.
When we signed Castle, I was pissed. I was pissed, man. Backup quarterback to Tom Brady. Fuck
for
that.
what, $48 million?
Yeah.
I mean, we gave him something crazy too.
Yeah.
2009 we go 4-12. Todd Haley's first year. Within 2010, he lit it up, and Dwayne Bowe has 15 reception touchdowns, leads the league, and I mean, I don't know.
I was the biggest Dwayne Bowe fan that year.
I loved Dwayne Bowe. He was pretty awesome, especially when he was getting pulled over for
weed.
Yeah, outside Sonic. He's something else. But
I met him, man. He came to Belton. He had a signing at the locker room.
No kidding.
Yeah, it's where the old Jose Peppers was actually.
Oh wow.
And he actually came and he was one-on-one the Fox and had his magazine and signed it, and he looked high. He looked high as fuck, bro.
I would smoke with Dwayne Bowe. That'd be pretty cool.
That would be hella tight.
Yeah, man, Dwayne Bowe. I met him back when I was in high school. My friend lived at the little neighborhood that he lived in Lee Summit, and we were out there playing flag football and stuff. And he came up like in his black Escalade, pulled up to his house, and we like said hi to him and stuff. It was pretty nice, but yeah, he was a cool dude. As bad as he was after 2010, he was a pretty cool guy.
I mean, that was a lot of that was due to Matt Castle, though.
Right, yeah, and then who'd we go from Castle to Brady Quinn? So
Brady, motherfucking
to
Quinn.
Kyle Orton after that.
God, dude.
I wanted Kyle Orton to stay too. Kyle Orton was.
Yeah, he played a few good games.
He was another guy who, he was like the poor man's Brett Favre. He put up a lot of yards, he put up a lot of touchdowns, but he threw like damn near as many interceptions as he did touchdowns. But we beat the Packers that year. Remember that?
I remember that.
2012 or 2011. Oh, 2012 was our worst season ever. 2011, yeah, Packers were like 13-0 or something. And that was pretty cool for that year. Oh man! Now I got
so predictions. What do you got the Chiefs going this year?
Honestly, I mean, not even going game by game. I would say 9-7.
9-7.
I just think with Andy Reid, I think 9 wins is just the baseline for him. I think if everything goes well, I think if we get pressure on the QB, we could go 10-6. I think best case scenario we go 11-5, win the division. I think worst case scenario we go 7-9 and miss the playoffs. But my official prediction, I'm gonna say 9-7, and I think we'll miss the playoffs. Just a game out of the wild card or lose it on a tiebreaker or something. But that's what I got.
Okay.
What about you?
I think this is the telltale year of Andy Reid. Even after this year, I give him one more year with Patty. But
he's got to win a playoff game.
I'm gonna watch Patty very closely tomorrow. I'm gonna see how much control Andy has over him, and if he's doing dump passes and if he's doing his checkoffs and shit like that. Eventually, Patty's gonna break out and he's gonna do his own thing. Whether that be this year or next year, I think that decides Andy Reid's head coaching position here. Even if that makes sense or not, but
I know what you mean.
I'm gonna go I'm gonna stick with it, man. I'm gonna go 7-9, 6-10 this year, one or the other. I don't expect that much out of Patty this year. I really don't, and I don't think it's fair to put high expectations on him. I really don't, and everyone's doing it, and everyone in Kansas City is expecting the greatest thing ever to happen, and they shouldn't. That's not fair. I mean, it's the first time we've drafted a quarterback in the first round since like 1988 or 1989 with Todd Blackledge, or whatever his name is. It is not fair to put this much pressure on this kid, and he's already rose to the occasion. He's a fucking stand-up guy, a good guy. He's been all over ESPN, been on multiple interviews. He throws the ball.
Confidence too.
He does, and it's not fair. It's not fair. Okay, we will go 6-10 or 7-9 this year, and everyone's gonna freak the fuck out, and they shouldn't.
I think we're on the same page as far as record goes. I think my opinion just differs as in
your confidence in Andy Reid.
I think I just have more confidence. I think in Patrick Mahomes. I think he's definitely gonna have more turnovers, but I think he can go out there. I mean, Alex Smith threw for the most touchdowns in a season in his career last year, I think, right? And he threw 26?
Yeah.
Like, I think 26 is easily reachable for Mahomes. Easily. I think he could throw 30.
The thing that scared me was week 3 in the preseason when we were in the end zone, in the red zone, and he was unable to make it happen. Granted, it was the first 4 or 5 drives of the preseason while you were in the end zone, and he wasn't able to make it happen. It was frightening to me.
That's true. I mean, yeah.
But it's preseason.
Right. So, I mean, we'll just see. I think my biggest issue, I think the downfall of the team is just going to be the defense. And I think Mahomes will have a good year. I think the entire offense will be, a top 10 offense. But the thing is, I think we're going to have a bottom 7 defense. And that's just going to be the issue. I mean, you can win a lot of games in the regular season without a defense. Ask the 2003 Chiefs. I mean, that was an awful defense, but we went 13-3.
Well,
but
we had arguably the best offensive line of all time.
That's true. That's true.
We don't even our offensive line
close to that.
Yeah. And if we did, Kareem Hunt would be the greatest running back ever. With that backup.
I mean, what Zeke did his rookie year. I mean, Kareem Hunt did it.
It would have been cake.
Kareem Hunt led the league in rushing with half the offensive line that Elliott.
Game
had.
over. Any running back behind 2003
Absolutely.
Chiefs offensive line.
Right.
John Tate, Casey Wegman. Who else?
Willie Roaf.
Will Shields.
Come
the fuck on, bro. Get at the Chiefs 2003 offensive line. Who's the fifth one?
Roaf, Shields, Wigman. You said John Tate. I don't know, man.
The fifth one was pretty good too. I can't remember his name.
Shit, you could put Eric Fisher at the fifth one.
Oh
It
God,
matter. I mean,
make him look like
those
a saint.
4 guys you could run 4 offensive line.
Yeah.
Priest Holmes would have ran for 1,500 yards. I mean, that was
Priest Holmes on the
unfair.
sweep, dude. On the sweep.
Absolutely.
Him running the sweep is like watching Beethoven. Dude.
I mean, my first memories of the Chiefs were Trent Green diving over that line into the end zone. Those 1-yard runs, just diving over everyone.
Getting his 7th and 8th concussion.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Then going to Cactus Grill, getting some chips and salsa.
Oh, yeah? You see him in there?
I didn't, but he used to go there.
Really?
Yeah.
I saw Jamal Charles out at 103 all the time. That was pretty cool. Yeah.
Jamal.
It was, yeah. I mean, it's been pretty cool. I've never seen any Royals players where I've worked, but served like 3 or 4 Chiefs players, so it's been pretty cool.
Up.
They've all been nice too.
All right. Well, Colin has Chiefs going 7-9 or 8-8.
7-9.
7-9. You're going with it. All right. I'm gonna go with that too. And then Chris, if you ever listen to this, you're a motherfucking bitch. He called my shirt gay. My Chiefs shirt that I wear on Fridays. He called it gay today. He was wasted.
I'm sure, man.
He's a white boy wasted. Looks at me and he's like, "Man, that shirt you were in yesterday is gay." I'm like, "Chris, you're the only person who said that. Everyone else loved it. So whatever, bro."
Ask Chris if he like labels his wife beaters like Monday through Friday the same, or if he just wears the same one every day.
That's what I told him, bro. I was like, "Right, yeah." I definitely mentioned the white beater, and then at the end of the conversation, I told Kirsten, I was like, "Hey, you tell Chris he calls my shirt gay one more time, I'm charging him for all his drinks."
Right. Yeah.
He's like, "Really? Really? You gonna do that?" I'm like, "Yes, Chris."
He's something else, man.
I know. All right, Colin. Well, it was good podcasting with you, bro.
Yeah, absolutely. It was nice to be on here. Definitely looking forward to it again. And if you don't mind, before I leave, I'd just like to say rock chalk. First,
not allowed. Not allowed.
First road victory in 46 tries today.
Not allowed. Not allowed. Not allowed on Talk Junkies, baby. M-I-Z.
That's fine. They won 2 today, but come on. This might be the only win we have all year. Just let me
all
have
right.
this one.
For football, yes. Basketball, you're not allowed to say anything about KU.
That's fine.
All right. Talk Junkies out. Hit the subscribe button, man. Hit that like button. Hit the ring notification button as well. Check us out. This is Talk Sports number 3 or 4, I think. But it was a good one, man. Check it out. If you're a Chiefs fan, you're going to love this shit. And if you guys do like it, Colin and I will definitely do some more.